Welcome to Happy Homes and Gardens. I'm your host. My name is Daphne Royse. I am a real estate broker, architecture, and interior designer. 2 years of pandemic have changed us forever. It may be difficult for some people to adjust to this dramatic lifestyle change. Are you frustrated, exhausted, bored with the life, or need to lose weight? Angie DeGeronimo and E. Brian Johnson are the founders of Little Wonders playbook and program. Their coaching addresses physical, mental, and emotional health, and the recipe they created rely on simple daily habits that will change your life. We have Angie and Brian here today to share with us how this playbook and program work. Welcome, Angie and Brian. Please tell us about you and how you start the Little Wonders playbook and program.
Hi there. I guess I'll start. I'm Angie, and I've been in Silicon Valley as a success coach with integrative wellness centers over the last 2 decades. It was interesting as I've worked with many of the executives that you guys work with as well, that the common phrase was, I know what I need to do, but I just don't do it. They had many, many resources at their fingertips, but they felt in many ways it was hard to connect to their goals or achieving personal goals due to the high stress levels in the Valley. Brian, anything you want to add to that?
Well, I guess, anyone who's been in business, we do get carried away with the day to day, and all of those little stressors start to build up. It's a cumulative effect, and that's why the expression, I know what I need to do, but I just don't do it. It's so true for so many people. They know that they need to take better care of their health. They need to manage their stress. They need to look after their relationships. But really, when you're dealing in a high stress situation, you've got a business to run, it's hard to find the bandwidth or the time to really focus on those things that are so, so important. And that's what's wonderful about what Angie developed over her years in the Valley, was that she was able to work with these guys who were changing the world, but were not able to change themselves.
And that's what really prompted the writing of the book, because I wanted to simplify the message, and that's what we'll talk, I guess, more about today.
Your program framework on habits change is called ANSWER. What does ANSWER stand for?
Sure. So it's an acronym. So this is basically a 3-step framework or 3-module framework that comes in the book. A and N stand for attention and notice. So when we start out by paying attention to our lives, we can really begin to break down why we're doing what we're doing each day, and then notice how that makes us feel. How does that feel in our heart? Are we making the best decisions in our thoughts? How do we speak to ourselves around our decisions in our day? And then physically, do we feel well every day doing what we are doing each and every day? So that's where we start.
Yeah, I think probably that what happens is, we're all being carried along by the momentum of our day to day. And we start, our body is constantly telling us there's something wrong, there's something wrong. And we just ignore that, or we distract ourselves, with the technology or drinks after work, or whatever it happens to be, whatever our coping mechanism is. And so the very, very first thing is, if you really want to make some changes in your life, it's the same approach as people do with any business. You want to set a goal, and you want to figure out what your KPIs are, and you want to set a timetable. The only problem is with that approach is it doesn't work. And that's what's so innovative about the answer framework as Angie developed it. So yes, we can't get anything done if we're not paying attention to how the stuff we're doing makes us feel.
And then the S and the W then move into shift. That stands for S is shift, W is witness. Shift is about shifting into that 1%, small steps that you can make every day that will change your life. And there's many stories in the book about people that live, my clients that live here, that just made the goal too big. Like Brian talked about, a project-based KPI approach where it was too big. Under that, the little small things we do each day weren't quite working. So it's really hard to get to a goal if those little things you do, like go to bed too late or skip breakfast or eat your biggest meal of the day before you go to bed. These little things really do set us up to not readily be able to achieve our goals. And then we witness the resistance. So the W is about resistance because we have to understand how to stay strong when things go wrong. They will. And the framework will help you as we've developed ways to help you get through or stay strong when things go wrong.
How are daily habits important?
Well, I think what you do on a daily basis, what you do on a daily basis, what you do repetitively defines who you are and what your life is like, right? You can set big goals, but goals are imaginary. They don't exist. They only exist in your head, right? What actually exists is what you're doing right now. And if what you're doing right now is not contributing to a healthy outcome, you will not be healthy. So that is why we do not focus on goals. We focus on the daily habits that you do repetitively, because those are the things that will define who you are and what your life is like. So we go to work on those simple daily habits.
So, and that's what we talked about in the shift and witness, finishing the book with embrace and rise. Your space and how you live has a lot to do as well. And that's how we finish out the answer framework. And so what Brian is saying, what you do most of the time is who you are. If you procrastinate every single day, you're probably living in a state of overwhelm. If you have a strong daily morning routine, you're probably approaching each day with thriving in all areas of your life. So there's these very small habits we can shift into daily that do compound over time. So that's why we think habits are almost more important than goals.
So in the Silicon Valley, most people, they are just constantly go, go, go. And how would they even know that they overworked or they actually stressed out?
That's a great question, isn't it, Angie?
I love this question. Yeah. You want to start or do you want me to take it?
Well, look, the first thing is that if you put on weight, if you're stressed out, if you're having to go to a therapist every week, if you're getting acupuncture for all your aches and pains, all of that stuff is telling you that there's something that's not working in your life. And the traditional way we approach that in our culture is just a transactional approach. Right? The transactional approach is, I have constant heartburn all the time. Let me go to the drugstore and buy some pills to take. That's the transaction, I'm losing weight. Let me go to a dietitian, or I'm going to buy into the latest diet, right? That's the transaction. But there's a reason you're overweight, right? And just by fixing the calorie piece is not going to fix the problem that causes you to be overweight, or causes you to drink too much. When you come home, every day you open the bottle of wine and you have most of it, unless you're fixing the underlying reasons for that behavior, because those are all coping mechanisms, right? So our approach is a transformational approach, right? Yes, we can give you some tips to help you drop 5 pounds, but really, let's get to the root of why your life is so unmanageable that you have to have all of these coping mechanisms just to get through the day.
So I would agree with him. We're basically saying you'll know you are stressed if you need or you're trying to escape your life. If there is wine, Netflix, scrolling, you're not balanced in your time, right? You're trying to check out of your life because you are in stress. So I would say it's really important to balance your downtime and uptime. And we do talk about this in the book. We call them time ins and time outs. A lot of us will take a time out, but in our timeouts, we're still really stimulated. We're on the computer, or we're watching a TV show, or we're scrolling social, and that's fun. but you're still really engaged in the fight or flight in the physical nervous system, not really allowing that rest and digest to come in, the parasympathetic nervous system, which we call time ins. And time ins are walking in nature, not with your phone, or sitting in the sun, or resting with an eye mask, or quiet reflection in your home, breathing exercises, meditation, things like this. So that we see is not happening as much as it should be to help us manage stress. Yeah, so I would say checking out, to answer your question, like you're checking out of your life.
Yes, that makes sense. Who are the candidates for your program?
Yeah, candidates are people that feel like they're flying by their seat of their pants. Coffee is their go-to. They wake up exhausted. They roll around with voices in their head that leaves them with self-doubt. I'm never going to lose this weight, or I'm never going to catch a break. Or I would also say people who really feel alone. A big part of our summer series is about relationships and how they've really suffered in this pandemic. And it's about resetting those relationships. And our summer series is coming out in August. But we'd like to direct you there as a way to understand more about Little Wonders. But I would say, Brian, did I cover, we're really looking for people that are feeling overwhelmed. They're looking for a new daily routine to feel better and for their performance to stay as good as they want it to. Then we're looking for where their mindset is. And we're looking for people that are interested in improving their relationships.
So actually anyone. Because we all have it. Look, let's face it. If you live in this world, right, and we're all living in this world, we're bombarded every day by the 24-hour news cycle. We've got responsibilities at home, we have responsibilities at work, and we feel this constant pressure, right? And that has an impact on our health, right? We see it all around us. We see people that are overweight, that are unhappy, that they complain all the time. We see it all the time. And those are the people that the Little Wonders approach can help. Because again, this is not one more thing to do, one more thing to spend money on. This is less to do, less to think about. It's about simplifying your life and getting back to some basics. The stuff we talk about, the Greeks talked about it. This is not brand new stuff. It's fundamental stuff that we've lost track of in our culture. So I invite anyone to engage with our program, because it will improve any part of your life. It really will.
So I understand the younger generations, they have the stress from the school, the social pressure. Is your program limited to a certain age group?
No, right. I don't think so. I think that anyone can benefit. And I actually think, Angie, maybe you want to jump in here because you're a mom with two young women, two young daughters. I think that, young kids today, they're under tremendous stress, right? They have the money stress because of the economy. They're carrying a lot of debt from school a lot of times, and they're walking around anchored to their cell phones. They're constantly stimulated, right? And they have this voice in their head that's going around, why isn't my life like Instagram? Why isn't my life like Instagram? And I think Little Wonders would be great for teens, personally.
And that's right. And applying that framework of the answer, that is the framework for change. So teaching them, how do I pay attention to my life in a way that really feeds my soul, not in a way that's competitive with the girlfriend who has the blonde, whatever it is. And that really is all over the social media platforms for age groups. And then, people in transition, people like in divorce or having difficult issues in their life, or weight loss, of course, we're going to say that. But if you want to improve your life in any way, I believe making a 1% difference each and every day can impact anyone.
That's a 365% difference at the end of the year.
30% every month. Right.
Could you tell us more about your program?
Yes. So our current program is called the Summer Series, where we go through 3 different modules. The first being daily rhythms for high performance. How do you run your day? What does it look like? The next is about mindset. What are the thoughts? What are your belief systems that you have in any given day as you progress forward? And then lastly, relationships. Do you have strong personal, professional relationships? And we talk in each and every one comes back to living your best, most productive life.
Yeah. We think, the reason that we created the summer series is because, and you alluded to this in your intro, Daphne, that we've been in this transitional state for 2 years. The pandemic changed everything about how we had to live. And, I spoke earlier about how the daily habits that we do define who we are. So for the last 2 years, our daily habits have been about staying home, not going out, and we've gotten very comfortable on the couch. We spend our time watching television, and so the habit of going out and socializing and integrating with people, we kind of lost that habit, and so as a result of that, some of our relationships have suffered, right? Another problem is that people have been under economic stress and under health stress, so their mindset for the last 2 years has been an anxiety mindset. And you get into the habit of having an anxiety mindset, right? Also, the fact that we don't go to work or we don't leave, our house in the way that we used to, our routines have all been turned upside down. So Angie and I decided that, the most valuable thing that we could do for people now is by providing 3 workshops that cover 3 essential practices to basically get us back out there, get us back to living, right? Get us back to connecting. So our first workshop focuses on your daily routine, right? It sounds simple. I've got a daily routine. Yes, but is that routine contributing to your stress, or is that routine contributing to you thriving? And there's a big difference, right? And the wonderful thing is that these small daily habits that we call little wonders, you can integrate those into your morning routine and into your evening routine, and it will transform your ability to be productive and focused and have energy through the whole day. So that's what we cover in our first workshop. The second workshop is about your mindset, that little voice in your head. You can't do this. You're too fat. You never get a break. All these bad negative thoughts, which we call the mad monkey in your head. We want to give you the tools to get a hold of that mad monkey and send him back to the circus where he belongs, right? So you can get control of your mindset and face your fears and be positive and ready to go out there, right? And then the final one, as Angie mentioned, is all about your relationships, because once you've covered your health and you've covered your mindset, the last piece is making sure that your relationships are healthy. Now, a lot of people say, my relationships have suffered over the last, 2 years. I haven't been going out to see people. Well, Angie and I say, yes, but that is also an opportunity now for you to really decide, who are you going to spend your time with? Are you going to continue to spend your time with people that don't see you, don't listen to you, that are not feeding your spirit? We call them energy vampires. Yeah.
Right. Like reset. Let's look at the people that you surround yourself with.
Yeah. And so we teach you how to recognize the signs where these relationships maybe are not so good for you, and how you can step into healthy relationships and step back from relationships that are no longer serving you, right? But without burning bridges. We're not about burning bridges. We just have to take a close look at our relationships and make sure that we're focusing on those that thrive and nurture our spirit. And that is what our summer program is about. And we did it in August because, most people are on holiday. They have a little bit of time. And so we hope that people will join us for the summer series.
You mentioned earlier a couple of times about losing weight. I think that's the biggest action item people when they get out of the pandemic. What is your recommendation? What should people do? Where should they start?
Right. And I think, we alluded to this a little earlier, that is a transactional question, right? Like, okay, to lose weight, you must do this. But the habits don't get taken care of. So 9 times out of 10, it's not a lifestyle change. So 9 times out of 10, over 2 decades working in the Valley, I watch the weight go back. I just watch it come back up. So I would say that there are so many little wonders that we're sharing around weight loss. So I'm going to give you one because you did ask, but I would say great place to start would be the summer series, because we're actually going to be giving you small daily habits that will change your life. And then you start to shift slowly into a new body without this constant, weighing your food or measuring things like this. So I'm going to give you a couple of little wonders here for weight loss. One, eat a huge lunch. So eat lunch anywhere between 11 and 2 and make that your biggest meal of the day. Wait 4 hours so your fat metabolism can work before your next evening meal, and have your evening meal half the size of your lunch. Please finish eating by 7 p.m. and the weight will start to come off. So that would be a small little wonder that would start to change your life.
And you know what I love about that? What I love about that is that you asked the question, give me some tips around weight loss. And the first thing that Angie said, well, it wasn't the first thing, she said, have a huge lunch. How many weight loss programs say start with a huge lunch, But
yeah.
Actually the thing about weight loss programs is that they are designed basically to make you lose weight super fast and then they abandon you. And then the weight just comes back up, right? So it's not about, I want to lose 10 pounds before the wedding, this kind of stuff. It'll never happen. Or if you do, you'll be back to even heavier than before. So focus just on those tiny little things, exactly like Angie said. Have a nice big lunch and then have a smaller dinner. And make sure that there's, a good 4 or 5 hours between eating. And if you're eating the correct food, and everybody knows now what the correct food is, if it's loaded with fat and salt and it came out of a cardboard box, that's not the correct food.
Yeah, it goes back to I know what I need to do, but I just don't do it. So what is that about? That's where we work on mindset in the second series, summer series. Yeah.
I'll give you one more little wonder around helping you with your weight loss, right? Is don't drink so much. Drink less. Everybody, in Canada, I'm speaking to you today from Vancouver, Canada, and I can tell you in the last 2 years, the liquor industry here increased their sales by 40%. That means people are drinking 40% more than they were before, right? So if you want to lose a little bit of weight, focus on drinking less. Find another way to manage your stress. Then you'll lose weight like that.
Exactly. That's that escape we talked about. Wanting to escape your life, that goes back to your balance is off. Like your rhythms, your daily rhythms are not working for you. So we go into that in detail in our summer series.
What I hear is change your habits, eat big meal, cut half portion for your dinner, wait 4 hours, stop by 7 p.m. So that's just a little habit change what you need to do.
That's right. Something you could just shift right now.
Can your program help people to sleep more and better?
Yes, certainly. When we go through our daily rhythms, largely our programming at Little Wonders, daily habits that will change your life, this is all based in the science of Ayurveda, circadian medicine, and chronobiology. So this is coming from a space of what is your rhythm, and are you working with your rhythm or against it? And when you have habits that have you eating and then going directly to bed, for example, and staring at your phone and going right to bed out of that space, you're really going to wake up in a jet lag state 90% of the time. So just in a fatigue state, and your sleep is going to be terrible. You know how you feel when you're jet lagged. Your sleep is horrible. So when you start to shift what you're doing and how you're doing and how you're eating in your day versus going to grab another program or have another food delivery coming in, look at how you're doing what you're doing and what you're doing versus the kinds of foods you need to, quote, lose weight or sleep better. Or, I see this all the time. What pills should I take? What weed gummy is going to work best for my sleep? Whatever that is, and it's very temporary. It's very short-lived. So to really understand your rhythms, of course, that right away is going to start. Just what I gave you in terms of weight loss, if you're done eating by 7 and you go to bed 3 hours later, you are going to sleep better. You are just going to sleep better. So I always tell people to start with that before they start with the pills and the whatever doctor appointments around sleep, for sure.
And I'll also give you one other one. Get that television out of your bedroom.
Yes, that's
what is the TV doing in the bedroom? Not only is it destroying your sleep, but it's also destroying the moments that you can share with your partner. Because instead of connecting with your partner in the bedroom, you're watching the news, which is giving you nothing but stress and bad feelings. It's so simple. Just take the TV out of your bedroom, you'll sleep better, you'll feel better, and you'll be way more connected with your partner.
Amazing. That's so true. And what does an evening routine look like? I don't think so. We really walk you through like I did with time ins, like what do we do for ourselves that doesn't involve engagement or stimulus? So we really do have you come into an evening routine thinking about this thing completely differently in the summer series. So how you go to bed, I talk about this in a video. It's like landing a plane. It takes time for that plane to come down, right? That's sleep. When you're sleeping, you don't just turn off like a light switch right out of a phone and right out off of the dinner table. You really do need time to come into a better sleep pattern. So yes, Little Wonders daily habits will 100% change and your sleep for the better.
Are you struggling to go to sleep at night, Daphne?
No, I never. I hit the pillow, I'm gone.
That's good. That's good news.
Great.
That means you have excellent sleep hygiene. That's great.
So I want to talk more about sleep. Okay. And what if you are tired of waking up tired? What should you do?
Ayurveda, I will tell you, I find this so interesting. I don't know if you've heard of doshas. You have different constitutions, let's call them. Each and every one of us has a different constitution. But what we all have in common are the different times of day. And there's a little bit of circadian medicine in this, but they say whatever you're doing. So they'll if you go to a specialist, a sleep specialist, they'll say, well, are you having trouble falling asleep? Or are you having trouble are you waking up in the middle of the night? Like there's different issues with sleep, whether it be falling, middle of the night, up all night, waking up just between 4 and 6. And in Ayurveda, they do talk about a connection between what you are doing during the day in those hours of time will impact what you're doing, where you wake up. So for example, if between 4 and 6, you're crashing during the day and you're going for a Frappuccino or you're engaging yourself, you're usually the person that's waking up between 4 and 6 in the middle of the night. So there's a corresponding, there's a connection to those two things. So that's for another day. That's very deep Ayurveda, where they talk about Vata, Pitta, Kapha, times of the day and so forth. So I would say you're waking up tired. You're doing something during the day that's overstimulating you at that particular time of day. You're doing something which comes back to your rhythm. I would say we've got to look more closely at your daily rhythm.
And you know what, I'll jump in here and I'm going to take a little bit of a different angle to that, because the question is, what do you do if you're tired of waking up tired, right? And my answer to that is so simple. It's change your life, okay? Just change it. Now, here's the thing. I know what I have to do, but I just don't do it, okay? That exists over here. And the process, the journey that we go on to actually make the decision to change, right? It's on a continuum, right? So over here we have, I'm tired of waking up tired, but I'm not going to do anything differently. And then it's, God, I'm really tired of waking up tired, so maybe I should do something differently. And then it's, oh my God, I can't take another moment of this. I have to change my life, right? And that is the moment when you make a decision. I am going to do something differently, because guess what? Nothing changes if nothing changes. You have to change, right? You have to do something differently. And you have to engage with a program or a framework to help you change your life. Because if you don't engage with a program or a framework, you are going to be white knuckling it, right?
Right. It's not going to be permanent. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You're going to force yourself into a lifestyle change that will not stick, right? Because you're not changing your basic daily habits during the day. So if you're feeling, I'm tired of waking up tired, I invite you to make a decision in your heart right now to say, I don't want to wake up tired anymore. I am going to make a change. And that change, I'm going to start. Why don't you start by signing up for one of our programs or checking out the Little Wonders book on Amazon, the Little Wonders playbook, you know? And even if you don't do that, there are many other disciplines and practices that will help you make the change. But honestly, it's up to you to make that decision because no one else can make it. And if nothing will change if nothing changes.
And what we're really doing with the Little Wonders is that they can be so little and it will shift an entire evening. If you do one thing differently at 3:00 in the afternoon, that's going to affect your dinner pattern. That's going to affect your evening pattern. That's going to impact how you're going to bed. And that's what we coach you through in the transformation of just living differently. But it really doesn't. In all my experience in working in Silicon Valley and the integrative wellness centers over 25 years, I never saw it stick unless unless they were engaged in a process that changed the decisions they were making every day. Small.
Your program will work well if people have determination and little motivation, and that's it, right? That's all you ask.
Determination is even strong. I mean, just to want to make one small change in your life, yeah.
So let me just illustrate this point with a story that's actually in the book, the Little Wonders playbook, and it's one of my favorite stories, and I think we start the book with it, Angie.
Yes.
It's a story about a woman who was one of Angie's clients, who was struggling to lose weight. Okay, going back to one of your earlier programs, and she didn't have any energy, and she was feeling kind of low, you know, and Angie recommended one small change. Angie said to her, I want you to take your running shoes to work, right? And she's like, my running shoes to work? What are you talking about? She goes, no, just take your running shoes to work. That's all you have to do, you know. And Angie said to her, with your running shoes at the office, you're going to see them every day. And every day you see them, because they're going to be out of context, right? What are my running shoes doing here? It's going to remind you, today, after lunch, I'm going to go for a 10-minute walk. Or before lunch, I'm going to go for a 10-minute walk, right? And the woman started to do that. And that simple little wonder, that little simple change rippled out throughout her life. The first thing is she started getting 10 minutes of exercise, which she never had before. Right?
Which compounds over time. So
Absolutely.
She was hours by the end of the week, right?
Yeah. The other thing is that she got on the phone for those 10 minutes. And that gave her 10 minutes of me time where she could call her mom, she could call her friends, right? She could connect. So suddenly she started to support her relationships in a new way, in a new healthy way, right? And she started to gain more energy because when you do a little bit of exercise, actually your energy goes up, right? And so that encouraged her. So now she's eating more healthy during lunch. And sometimes she's even bringing her own lunch because she wants to make sure she can eat it and have time to go out for her walk because she's really looking forward to her walk now. It's her me time. And all of those things compounded over time to support her relationship. She had more confidence. She dropped a little bit of weight. That made her feel better about herself. So now that improved her relationship with her husband, right? And guess what? She got a promotion. She got a promotion because she showed up as a new person.
Right. It really
a confident person and a person that had a ton of energy. That's what we mean by the power of little wonders. And that's why we call them little wonders, because they really are little and they're wonderful. You know, it's a perfect example.
Yeah.
What a wonderful story to share.
Yeah. Great. I love that story. That's how the book started. That was the spark for the book, because she ended up wanting to walk 20 minutes and then it went to 30 minutes and then she dropped more weight. And then, you know, it just kept getting better and better. And we talked about this started with just putting those sneakers down, and she didn't hit those sneakers for weeks, you know, and then there were days that she just put them on and sat on a bed, but it didn't but over time, it was like, this is something that eventually completely changed her life, her relationships, her work, her life, herself, how she thought about herself. Yeah.
I would like to know, how will people find you and how do they sign up to your program?
Yes. So on socials, it's Little Wonders with Angie. So I'm on Instagram and Facebook, where you can get live little videos with actual Little Wonder tidbits. I'm a movement coach as well. I've run wellness centers, as I mentioned, here for a long time. So you'll get movement, Little Wonders movements, things like this. And then Brian, for the program, do you want to give the link?
Yeah, well, basically, you can find us at littlewondershabits.com. All right, that's our website, and you can learn about Angie and learn about the book and everything. And you will also find a link to our upcoming summer series at that address. So it's littlewondershabits.com. And on socials, it's Little Wonders with Angie. Just put in the search and you'll find it on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, wherever you happen to be.
Great. Thank you so much for this valuable information. It was very informative.
Great. I'm so glad. Good. Come join us.
Come and join us, Daphne. It's great to have you. All right.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much, Daphne. It's been great. It's been great talking with you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for your time.